eyes to see. Que sera, sera.
Greetings, Wildcat fans. I'm Bob.
And I'm Larry. This is Catnips, and this is the conclusion of Week 7 of the college football season, a week during which the Northwestern Wildcats fell to the University of Minnesota 24-17 in Minneapolis. Now, the Cats fought a hard game against an evenly matched opponent, but came just a play or two short in this one, leaving fans a little less than happy.
I'll teach you to be happy. I'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs.
So, Bob, what did you think of this game?
What did I think of this game, Larry? Well, I got this uneasy feeling in the first quarter as I watched the Cats start losing field position and then fall behind in the score, that regardless of how well the Northwestern defense played, this one was going to come down to the offense. And despite the fact that they had a lot of numeric superiority to Minnesota's output, the offense came up short. And this one's just sort of hard to believe.
It's hard to believe you went to bed with a headache.
Well, the offense did have a couple of bright spots. Justin Jackson, as usual, has shown flashes of brilliance, and he did in this game, too. There were a couple of plays during which it looked like Jackson would be thrown for a loss, and he made something out of nothing for a couple of nice gains.
There were some bright spots in this game. The defense did a really good job of stopping Cobb once they settled down and, in fact, held him to less than 100 yards at 97. Justin Jackson was able to gain 106 yards. That was a very, very pleasant surprise against a pretty good Minnesota defense. And to be fair, Minnesota head coach Jerry Kill did say in his pregame interview that the Gophers had basically spent 2 weeks with their bye week practicing for this particular game. And they did come well prepared. Minnesota doesn't do a lot of things, but what they do very well. And unfortunately in this game, the Cats had to do an awful lot, and a lot of it wasn't done all that well.
Well, you know, that particularly holds true with special teams play. Special teams had been improving. At least they seemed like they were improving when you look at the Penn State and Wisconsin games.
Yeah, Larry, we've been pretty complimentary of the special teams play in the last couple of games, but this one was a clunker. They took a step back. You had Solomon Vault's bobble of the kickoff after Minnesota had scored their go-ahead touchdown. Down at the 3-yard line. That set the Cats up with a long field and, what turned out to be a magnificent 97-yard drive, but may have drained some of the gas out of the tank late in the fourth quarter.
Honestly, we're out of gas.
You had Chris Gradone's 11-yard punt at a critical point in the middle of the fourth quarter, setting Minnesota up with great field position at the 50-yard line. And, of course,
10 center of the field, has room to the 25-30, breaking away to the 40, cuts it back at midfield, down the sideline at the 30, by the kicker, 10, touchdown!
So let's look forward now to the Nebraska game. It's homecoming. It's a night game. You may notice I'm wearing an old-style Northwestern t-shirt. This is the official t-shirt of the Northwestern University Archives. It has the original script font that Northwestern used for its student newspaper.
Latest football scores.
And it's a nice segue into the uniforms that Northwestern will be wearing this Saturday with the Gothic font that we see around signs across campus. Nebraska had a bye week last week, as did Minnesota the week before Northwestern played them. Seems kind of reminiscent of the issues and some of the problems that Northwestern had run into in the Big Ten season in the last couple of years. Seems like an inordinate number of opponents have bye weeks before playing Northwestern.
You broke my heart.
Well, this is yet another week where the opposing team has had a couple of weeks to prepare. Nebraska 2 weeks ago had actually had a very close and very tough loss to Big Ten leader Michigan State. Nebraska is 5-1. They were ranked 19th in the country last week, and just like Wisconsin, and just like Minnesota, Nebraska is going to be a tough run-first team. Their rushing team right now is ranked 6th in the country in terms of rushing yards gained. Nebraska's lead rusher, Amir Abdullah, is actually closing in on 900 yards rushing already in the season, but quarterback Tommy Armstrong actually isn't far behind. He has over 400 yards on the ground. This is in-use kind of offense. The Cats will have their hands full this Saturday.
So, Larry, is it time for Potables?
Yes, Bob, it is time for Potables.
What do we have this week, Larry?
Well, Bob, we have from Hickman, Nebraska, just a tractor pull away from Lincoln. This is Husker Hooch. This is the third corn fuel distilled product we've featured on Catnip so far.
All right, I'll give this a try. Wow. Wow. This smells like napalm in the twilight. It smells of victory.
Someday this war's gonna end.
Okay. Wow. I'm feeling a fire in my belly here, Larry. And I know those Huskers have a fire in their belly, and they want to get back up to the top of the ladder in the Big Ten title race for the Western Division. But I think the Cats have also got a fire in their belly. I think the Cats were embarrassed by dropping that game up in Minnesota. And I'm going to go against all convention here, despite the fact that it's a primetime game, despite the fact that it's a Pat Fitzgerald-coached Northwestern team playing a Big Ten game in October. The odds go against all of those things. But nonetheless, I'm going to call for the Cats to win this one. I think it's going to be tight. I think Jack Mitchell's the hero in a 23-20 Wildcat win.
Oh, this stings, just like last week stings. My head tells me Nebraska will be delivering another sting. My heart tells me to stick with my original prediction. And to go with the Cats 28-17.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Catnips. We hope to see you again real soon. And as always,
go Cats!